Hi everybody, my name is Barry Schwartz and this is the Search Buzz video recap. Today is Friday, October 14th, and this is the search news we covered over the past week at the Search Engine Roundtable at seroundtable.com. First up, Google somewhat announced, and they announced this that they're working on this a year ago, that they're experimenting with a mobile-only index, and Gary from Google announced at PubCon just Wednesday that it's going to launch within months. Exactly when is unsure. Gary said on the stage it's going to happen within months. I asked Google for clarification, and all they added was basically it's happening within months. They wouldn't give a time frame. If you go within months, people might think it might launch with an interstitial ad penalty. I'm not sure if those two are exactly correlated with each other, but we will see. So this specifically means, and he said a lot of things, but here's some of the tweets. Google's creating a separate mobile index, which will be the primary index. Desktop will be the secondary index, less up to date. Meaning, Google's going to go ahead and go back to the supplemental index days where they're maintaining two different indexes. One is desktop and one is mobile. And desktop is going to go back into the days where it's actually a less often updated index, whereas the mobile index will be much more updated than the desktop index. It's not exactly sure how often and so forth. The reason they're doing this is because right now your mobile rankings are based off of your desktop rankings, and what that means is that for example, let's say your page speed is crazy long on mobile but really fast on desktop. Google's going to use the page speed factor from your desktop, even in mobile search, even though they don't relate. And that's how it currently works. So Google's working on this mobile index to say, all right, let's measure things that are mobile specific and use that as the primary, because we think the mobile web is the primary, and that's the mobile first approach. There's lots of different things going on here. I go into this in a lot more detail, so just check it out this morning at October 14th at seroundtable.com for that story. Moving on to Penguin. We've been discussing a lot of Penguin stuff. So the Penguin 4.0 rollout is supposedly 100% complete now. It's rolled out to all data centers. Gary again announced that at PubCon, and he actually told that to Jennifer Slegg. Here's the tweets. Let me just zoom in so you can see it. Last Penguin question. The previous Penguin recoveries have completed rolling out. Your answer applies yes. Yes. You have said those impacted Penguins should be now recovered. This includes all previous. Yes. It's fully rolled out across all data centers. The Penguin 4.0 update is done. If you haven't seen recoveries yet, you probably won't, and you probably have to do more link cleanup, and then you might go ahead and see some recoveries. And we went into all the Penguin stuff. If you want to learn more about it, go there, and there's links to all of our coverage on Penguin. Some new things about Penguin. Again, Gary said at PubCon, another pretty big thing which I was kind of shocked about, because one of the things about Penguin is that it's granular. And Gary basically said that if you are doing it too much, and you're spamming too much, and Penguin picks up on that, it could discount all your links, the good links, the bad links, and so forth. So I go into this a little more detail. Here's all the tweets about it. The good links, the bad links, etc., etc. I go into this a little more detail, and I'm questioning it. Isn't Google Penguin more granular? Shouldn't it be looking at a link-by-link basis? Why not just discount all the bad links, keep the good links, and let it be? But Gary said they're on it. They're on to manipulation, and if you do it too much, Google will go ahead and penalize all the links, or devalue all the links. And if you have devalued links, Google doesn't count any of your links, and you have no page rank, you have no link signals. It's pretty devastating for a site, so you got to be careful with that. The question I have is it the links to the source site that are all discounted, or is it the target site that's being discounted? I think it's a target site, but we'll see. Hopefully I emailed Google for more information, and hopefully we'll see more about that soon. And talking about that, we're prepared, and Google said we're prepared for SEOs to try and manipulate this. And he said this the day before he went ahead and posted about this. He actually said this up at PubCon about the discounting all the links. He said we're prepared, and a lot of people are saying you better watch out. I know people who are turbocharging their link manipulation, and people are pretty much mocking Google because Penguin 4.0, it's real time, it's granular. Let's go ahead and try stuff. Speed up our link development, see what happens, see how Google handles it, and if we can scale it back and go forward since it's real time, we don't have to worry about it. And Google's like, we're ready for you guys, and you better be careful. And then he nailed this bombshell where he said, we might discount all your links and devalue all your links, and that's going to be devastating for you. So don't even try it. So I had a podcast with Marketing Land this week with Gary, and I did an interview with Gary, and Danny Sullivan, myself, and Matt McGee were on the podcast with Gary from Google, and we discussed different things. And one of the things we discussed was that Penguin specifically looks at the source of the link. So I said, what is a Penguin penalty? Google keeps calling it a web spam algorithm. Not a link spam algorithm, but a web spam algorithm. And the question was why? Why is it called a web spam algorithm? And Gary said, yeah, it's mostly link spam, but you have to look at the source of the link. Meaning, if your link's coming from a very spammy site, that link source is what Google says, oh, this is a spammy link. The source of the link. So if a low quality forum blog post a low quality forum profile is linking to me with spammy links, the page source is what Google determines to be a Penguin link or Penguin real-time link. And he gave that, again, it's the source site, not the target site that you should look at. And he specifically called out things like low quality forum profile links and stuff like that. So that's an interesting little take on that. Again, I don't think most people are confused by that or didn't understand that, but I think it's good to have on record because we really never had that on record. And Google keeps saying it's web spam, but really it is link spam. The web spam component is the source site aspect. Another little point, Gary said Penguin does not use machine learning. There are some people who are saying Penguin is machine learning based. It is not, according to Gary. Take that for what you want to mean. Google algorithms actually go ahead and label links. During that podcast that I was talking about, he mentioned the word link labels. And then I'm like, oh, what is link labels? Obviously, you can imagine what link labels are, but he basically said link labels could be things like, this is a footer link, so we'll label the link as a footer link. It might be a Penguin real-time label on it. It might be a disavow label on it. And all links across the web get these labels, and Google uses these labels to figure out how they should use it in their search rankings and their web spam algorithms and so forth. So you can actually listen to that. It's pretty interesting. Again, understanding all these little tidbits might be helpful or might be not, but it's nice to see. Google Panda, I asked Gary about this. Does Google Panda discount or devalue? Same as Penguin, discount or devalue. So now Penguin just discounts, doesn't demote. Sorry. And Panda seems to demote. Difference between demote and devalue is that it would actually get a ranking bump down versus just ignoring the bad stuff. And Panda seems to demote, whereas Penguin just ignores the bad stuff. That's the new way of Penguin working, and Panda still works the old way, kind of. Google, on the Search Console side, removed the site links to motion feature. So you used to be able to actually go into Google Search Console, say, I don't like this site link or that site link. Let me zoom in. You can see what a site link is. This is an example of a site link. Here's the main result, and these are site links. So if I didn't want like Barry Schwartz to show up there, I could just go into Google Search Console and say, bam, get rid of Barry Schwartz from showing in my my site links, and it'll go away. Now Google said, no, we're much better at it, and here's some best practices, but you're no longer able to demote any site links using the Google Search Console feature. Talking about machine learning and so forth, I asked Google about machine learning and its algorithms and its ranking, and I asked, so we know, like, obviously, like, here's Gary's tweet about Penguin basically not being machine learning, and then John said, well, it's a good assumption to say, hey, Penguin is machine learning, so there's like confusion there. So then I asked the head of ranking at Google about this, which is Paul Harr, and he said, basically, it's a complicated question. I asked, does Google use machine learning in search rankings, in most of the search ranking algorithms today? And he said, it's a very, very complicated question. So the answer is, why there's so much confusion is because there are elements of machine learning here and there. Is it used for all of it? It's complicated and so forth. Machine learning itself is complicated, which I'll get into a little bit next week. In any event, let's move on. Google also said that Google algorithms, don't forget, they keep a history of stuff that's going on. There's a whole history database. Google is a big database, and they have history, and Google said that. And John Mueller said in this video, and the various algorithms that we have, they do try to be fast at responding to what's out there on the web, but some of them are fast and some of them are a bit slower. Some of them take into account more history of what has been changing on their site. So again, Google always looks at history. The question is how much and so forth. Gary also told us in a podcast that Google may look at citations or figure out how to measure citations. Citations or unlinked citations. So, for example, let's say somebody calls out Search Engine Roundtable on their blog. They say the Search Engine Roundtable wrote X, Y, and Z and quotes it. But they don't link to the Search Engine Roundtable. They just say Search Engine Roundtable wrote this. And that happens way often. Google says there's currently in the past, they said you don't get any benefit of it. You don't get a link. You don't get any ranking boost for somebody just mentioning your name because you're not getting a link, and Google looks at links. But Gary Ilya said, or Ish said, that this might change. He wrote, something that you can't measure easily, obviously, is the brand awareness stuff. But we're thinking about how to actually measure that in aggregate. And he says, I think the UXers are on it. So hopefully, one day Google will be able to measure citations without the links. Some people say they do it for local already. I'm not sure if that's the case, but we'll see. Google said international or different language links to your website are not by definition spammy. People sometimes say, oh, wait, this site is from France and it's written in French and it's linking to my US site, so I'm going to disavow it because I think it's spam. It's not. Language and location of the site and region of the site do not define if it's spammy or not. Google Search Console launched a new Google AMP testing tool. It's really cool because everything's in one place now. So this is what the tool looks like. You just zoom in so you can see it. You plug in your AMP URL at the top. It says valid or not. It gives you the AMP errors right here on the side, and also give you AMP errors. We go to an AMP error section. So error tells you the errors, and actually I'll highlight the errors on the right-hand side. It also gives you a link to preview the search result and explore more structured data. Here's the preview version. So it's a pretty cool way to get all the information directly in one screen. So that's nice. Two more things. Google AdSense launched a new AdSense portal design it's pretty much a material design look. So let me just zoom in. Here's what that looks like. It's much cleaner. Looks prettier. Supposedly rolling out over the next several days, so you might be able to see it soon. And finally, if you want to catch up on the past month, I have the big Google Webmaster Report I posted on October 10th, and I go through a lot of stuff. So if you want to catch up, you were on vacation for the past month or so, definitely take a look at that report, and hopefully you guys will learn something. Just a little heads up. I am offline again on Monday and Tuesday of this week, and again Monday and Tuesday next week. Again, Jewish holidays all this month. So I hopefully will schedule some stuff. We'll see what happens, and that's about it. Thanks so much for listening to the Search Buzz video recap. My name again is Barry Schwartz. Thanks for all the people watching live. It's really cool, and all the comments coming in live. It really helps me adjust while I'm speaking. And again, this is the search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable over the past week. Again, today is Friday, October 14th. Everyone have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys next. Bye.